Hey everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I'm here to share with you guys a process video on how to make some really easy, kind of shabby chic, maybe primitive in style cards. I've made 6 of them, which is a ton for me. I'm a really slow crafter. And I wanted to share with you guys how easy it was to do this with some fabric washi tape, or you could use regular washi tape, as well as some beautiful diamond dies. And I wanted to let you know that if you wanted to make a purchase during the month of August 2017, you can use the coupon code 30days and you'll get 20% off, free worldwide shipping on all orders of $20 or more. We're doing lots and lots of videos for diamond dies. There's tons of guest designers showing some beautiful projects with diamond dies, and I'm a regular design team member and I wanted to play along too. So I don't have a designated day or anything like that, but I wanted to come on and share with you guys these cards. So first of all, as you can see, they're very kind of sorbet colors, very summery or springy, and I used a variety of dyes. For the base of the cards, I used some Hot Buys card bases. This is from an old Michaels, package. It's got 80 sets of card bases, and I just picked some colors that I thought would coordinate nicely with the washi tape that I had on hand. And this washi I've had in my stash for so long that you'll see actually that some of them have lost their adhesive backing. So it's just kind of disintegrated, I think, over time. I can't actually recall where I got all of these washis. They're fabric washi, so they have a beautiful texture. So some of them I got from the Dollar Tree and others I don't know. But even for the ones that lost their adhesive backing, it's really easy to adhere them with art glitter glue, or really any kind of wet glue, I think, or hot glue. And I will show you guys the process of how I made these little background areas. And then for the actual diamond dies that I used this tag nesting die set. I love this because of these rounded tops and the rounded bottoms. They make for really beautiful, kind of more country style. They're not really sharp edges, which you can obviously do with like a regular trimmer, paper trimmer. But with these rounded edges, I think they add a really nice soft touch to them. I use lots of scraps for the papers as well. I use some vellum scraps, some cardstock scraps, and then some white scraps of cardstock that I covered with the washi to make these kind of smaller hearts. And as you can see, I use the heart die a lot, and that's the Diamond Dies Nesting Heart die set. And then lastly, for these down here, I thought these would look cute with these garden tools. It's from this latest release. And I had so much fun adding the handles with washi tape backed or paper backed washi tape to coordinate with this background piece. And I just added that to the handle sections. And I used some foil paper that I had picked up at the Dollar Tree also to give a nice shine to the gardening tools. And let me get on with sharing with you guys the process. I hope you enjoy it. So I'm starting with a white piece of cardstock, or it might be pattern paper with the pattern on the other side. It measures about 3 inches by 4.5 inches, and I'm just cutting some fabric washi tape to make sure that I can tuck both edges of the washi tape on the back side of this cardstock. And I'm just peeling off the fabric washi, and I'm gonna just put one row down after another. That first piece of fabric washi went down with the adhesive on the back. The second one obviously did not have adhesive, nor did the third one. So I'm using some wet glue. This is the art glitter glue with a fine nozzle tip to adhere those. And I'm just going to do this in alternating patterns of this fabric washi. So you can see that I'm now starting the second repeat of each of these washi tapes. And you can see from the card sample on the left that I just used different fabric washis for another one. Now you see that I don't have enough left of that cardstock at the bottom, and I'll show you how I handled that in a little minute. But I also wanted to add some crochet trim. This also has adhesive already stuck on the back of it, so it makes it really easy to place. Now for those washi pieces that did not have adhesive left, I used more of that wet adhesive glue to tuck it behind the back of this piece of cardstock. And as you can see, it's actually a scrap of pattern paper that I had in my scrap box. This is a great project to use up all those scraps, by the way. And now I have to repeat that last kind of aqua with red flowers printed fabric washi at the bottom. And I am going to tuck over that bottom piece. And for the corners, I'm mitering the corners away so that it doesn't have too much additional bulk. Sorry, I'm a little off camera here, but you get the idea. I just cut that away and I'm tucking all of that behind that little piece of cardstock. Now I'm gonna use my ATG gun to glue that or adhere that to the card front. And I'm also making an extra little flag or banner of that blue patterned washi. And I'm gonna put that on the card liner. Really easy, quick, added decoration, but I think it adds a lot to a handmade card. Now I'm using the Diamond Dies nesting tag die set, and I'm using, I think, like the third or fourth smallest one. It really depends on the card size that you're making, but I die cut that out of a scrap of pattern paper, and I'm just inking the edges. And I'm using different Tim Holtz Distress inks to coordinate with the card base colors. So that first one you saw I did with dried marigold. This next one is with squeezed lemonade. And I think I show one more maybe with twisted citron with the green backing or card base. There we go. Now I am going to show you guys some of the layering that I decided to do with the Diamond Dies heart nesting die set. And that, what you see right there, is me cutting out a piece of pattern vellum. I've had this in my stash forever. And that is a piece of just a scrap of green cardstock. It's like a citron-y green. And I decide I'm gonna back that citron-y green card stock behind a little piece of this patterned, like, I think it's like a lacy patterned vellum. And I'm using more of that art glitter glue. And I'm making sure to put the glue just in the areas that have that pattern so that it doesn't really show up behind that vellum. I'm gonna glue that backed vellum piece onto the bigger vellum heart. And now I'm using my ATG gun. You can also use your wet glue to adhere that tag base and then that heart right there. And I think it needed a little something more, so you'll see me using another scrap of cardstock and cutting a couple pieces of that blue pattern fabric washi. And I'm going to put that down on the cardstock, and I'm gonna abut two together so that I get enough width to run this through my die cutting machine again with the smallest of the Diamond Dies nesting heart dies. And even though the pattern doesn't match perfectly, it actually looks like it's one piece of fabric cardstock. Now you see me taking that citron distress ink and I'm inking the edges of the card. I think that adds a nice finishing look to cards. And now you see me playing with some metallic paper. This is from the Dollar Tree, a big package of gold and silver and whatnot. And I should have actually backed that first with cardstock, like glued it on before running it through my die cutting machine. So you'll see it's a little bit wimpy there when you see it later when I adhere the handles to it, but I do that later off camera. And here I'm just taking some of the pink floral washi and I'm putting the dies on there just so that I make sure that at least the handles get covered with that patterned fabric washi. And you can see my next step is to just take the handles off, just clip them off with a pair of scissors, and I will adhere that to the metallic tools die cut out. And I think that adds such a nice little touch and makes for a really cute embellishment. These are going to go on these note cards that I'm making as gift sets for a friend who loves gardening, but I think they would be great for scrapbook layouts, for pictures of gardening, or just outdoor pictures. These are so cute and I think so versatile. So the first 3 note cards I made are just made with that Diamond Dies tag die that I inked the edges of. For this blue card base, I used broken china, and then I also inked the edges of this little heart that I die cut out of some scrap pattern paper. And I also used that washi, the same fabric washi, to die cut out this little heart in the center. Inside, for all of them, I pretty much did the same thing. I used some scrap blue cardstock and then a little strip of washi that coordinated with the background on the front of the card. So for this one, I used the same kind of pattern, the tag on the base and then hearts in successively smaller sizes. But this time I used 3, and this first layer is the patterned vellum. This is the cardstock with the patterned vellum, and then this is that washi covered heart. And I thought this coordinated nicely with the colors of the washi here to use this kind of orangey tangelo color. And I used Tim Holtz Distress Ink in dried marigold for this one. I did the same thing for this one, but used the greens with twisted citron as my ink. I thought they came out really cute, and I hope my friend who receives this as a little gift set will enjoy them. Next, for these, I did the same kind of tag background, and then I decided I wanted a little bit of the color from the background to repeat, so I die cut out this heart with the cardstock as well as with vellum just to lighten it up. I wanted this blue to be closer to these blues, and the blue cardstock that I had was much darker. And the vellum lightened that up nicely. For these little dots, I used this Nuvo Glow Drops. And this is glow in the dark, actually. I haven't tried it in the dark, but I thought even without the glow in the dark feature, that this coordinate nicely. And I used this blue floral washi for the handles of the little tools. For this one, I used yellow, and the yellow ink color that I use is Squeeze Lemonade, and I used yellow cardstock and then a vellum and used more of that Nuvo Glow Drops. And then lastly, for this one, I didn't have any more of this crochet trim. So this one, I had some paper doily trim, and I used all of that. And then for the centers, I used some Recollections Bling on a Roll and put that down here and here in the center of the doily trim. And because that pearl backing was so thick in height, I had to pop this tag up on double-sided foam dots and raise that up a little bit. So it has a little bit more dimension. I also added a couple of the pearls from this Bling on a Roll to the tag just to add a little something something to the front. I inked the edges of this purple one as well as this pink one with Tim Holtz Distress Ink and milled lavender. And I really like how the lavender actually picked up the pinks of this card base. A lot of the Tim Holtz Distress Inks that I have in pink wouldn't have matched as well as that milled lavender, oddly enough. And for this one, I used purple cardstock, vellum that has that lacy pattern, some purple cardstock, and then topped all of this up with the garden tools with this fabric washi that matches this background. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this process video and it gave you some ideas on how to use these really cute garden tools dies. I hope you enjoyed this process video. And don't forget, if you are buying anything at Diamond Dies, please use the coupon code 30days and get 20% off and free worldwide shipping on all orders of $20 or more. Thanks so much for watching.